Y'all know, like I say all the time whenever I like go to react to videos or whatever, I say like, oh, I don't really watch basketball videos that often unless I'm on stream and I want content, whatever. But I saw this and I'm like, oh snap, this actually looks really interesting. And I mean, of course, I literally every time I go to pump fake reacting to videos on stream, I say, hey y'all, the Jimmy High Roller drop video, and then so I wanted to react to this Jimmy High Roller new video. Let's see what he's talking about.
While watching this summer's Olympics, I couldn't help but to think, now more than ever, LeBron is an absolute anomaly. Truly a one of one. In the NBA's near 80-year history, there's never been a player quite like him. I mean, go through the laundry list of players both past and present.
The answer must be Bronny, right? This man Dre. I mean, in theory, they do got the same name.
Who have drawn comparisons, and none of them are all that similar to LeBron. An unfair blend of size and speed, the strength of a big with the skills of a guard, an alleged pass-first player who bulldozed his way to the most points in NBA history. And all of this got me thinking, who is the most similar player to LeBron in the NBA right now? It's a question that I've always wanted to know the answer to. And after spending countless hours looking at the data, crunching the numbers, and comparing players from all around the league to LeBron, from the playmaking to the size, the shooting, the play style, I finally have the answer.
Now, how long? See, I as like a person who has edited a lot of videos, I get a lot of like respect in my mind for like little things like that.
From the playmaking to the size.
Who did that? Who did that? I know you give me a little bit of epilepsy.
I finally,
like that probably took a year for a 1 second frame. It probably took like 20 minutes for a literal 1 second frame. I always love when I see stuff like that.
I have the answer. And the most similar player to LeBron is not who you think it is.
Who's your guess? If you watched the video already, don't say it. My guess, if you don't think who it, wait, so can it be all time? If it's all time, random guess, Elgin Baylor. That's probably not a good guess though. Tatum, Scottie Pippen. I mean, Magic is probably the biggest guess, probably, but Magic scoring isn't on Bron level. It's not all time. Okay. So it's current. Evan Turner. I saw a clip a few days ago and it was like Evan Turner on Jeff Teague podcast. Evan Turner, LeBron. He's like, I was supposed to be the next LeBron. Hold on. Damn, I can't find it now. They probably changed the title. Oh yeah, they did change the title. That's funny. Oh, never mind. It's right there. It's in the thumbnail. I was supposed to be Bron. But yeah, I'll rock with Evan Turner though. I think it will be, you gotta think, okay, big wing, who is, I'm assuming Jimmy's pretty, when it comes to like I know people will get on Jimmy sometimes, they'll be like, oh, this and that, like his NBA knowledge. When it comes to like this stuff, when he creates his own criteria within a criteria, I feel like he's pretty accurate within his own nerd, like, you know what I'm saying? And so I feel like, so he's gonna take into account height, weight, and then everything in regard to all around, right? You know what? Bam Adebayo. Why? I don't know. Big body, can score, rebound, defend, 6'9". I don't know. That's so random. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I don't know. Paulo? Oh, Paulo's a good one.
Video is sponsored by Draft. Quick, off the.
Yeah, he's not a passer, but he could pass a little bit though. Is it gonna be based upon what's the word? Like your averages have to be as high as LeBron, or in a ratio of your averages to LeBron's? Like you can average 15, 6, and 6. And then that's a 1-to-1 to LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. Like LeBron's 25, 8, and 8. I know that's not exact, but still.
Top of your head, of all the active players currently in the NBA, who reminds you most of LeBron?
Kyle Anderson.
James. Of course, not including himself. Who is the most similar to him? I'm sure among some of the names that come to mind, Paolo Banchero, Zion Williamson, what remains of Ben.
Hell no, not Zion. Just because Zion, you got to have a game. Now, Zion can do stuff outside the paint. Like, in theory, he could, but he doesn't have to. So that's why I mean, I guess that's kind of like young LeBron, though. But Zion also, when you look at Zion, and it could be because he's stout, but he doesn't look that tall. He just looks like a damn powerhouse. Like, there's literally no other way to go with Zion aside from, like, a more, and I say this with a lot of respect to the first player, the former that I'm going to say, but to like a more even more athletically gifted Charles Barkley. And Charles Barkley was OD athletically gifted, even when he was big bodied or not big bodied or in the middle. But like Zion will just, you know what I'm saying? The dunks that Zion is the like one of the greatest dunkers I've ever seen in my life. So that's why I say that. But yeah.
Simmons and Luka Doncic are all viable candidates, but even those guys, despite being the closest thing, are not really all that similar to LeBron.
And Scotty Barnes is a good one, I'm not gonna lie.
Paulo isn't as offensively dynamic as a young LeBron was. Zion isn't as good or willing of a passer.
Yeah, that of course. But I was thinking a different way. But Paulo, my first thought, Paulo be athleticism, honestly. And it's not that he's not, it's that it's LeBron.
Luka isn't nearly as explosive, and Ben
That as well.
Simmons has pretty much stopped playing basketball altogether. Oddly enough,
Doesn't play basketball anymore.
LeBron's game isn't even that unique. A do-it-all Swiss Army knife point forward. If anything, in today's positionless league, this
Tito Turkoglu.
archetype of player is the most common. And yet, somehow, after 21 years, not only have we not come across a single player who can do it as well as him, we have yet to see a player with a game that even resembles LeBron's. But why is that? In fact, with a game as relatively simple and effective as LeBron's, why has there not been a single player in the NBA who plays like him? This series of questions led me down a long and exhausting rabbit hole of what I believe to be the most extensive look into this topic. Who is the most similar player to LeBron James? Now, usually whenever this question comes up, the most common and possibly accurate answer involves combining two different players. A hybrid. Many fans have said LeBron is a mix between Magic Johnson and Scottie Pippen, the skills of Grant Hill with the frame of a power forward. Tracy McGrady and Karl Malone's body. CraftedNBA.com
Pause.
has a great tool called Doppelgangers, which uses an extensive batch of metrics to find similar players throughout the NBA. But this tool specifically looks at the results of a player's game without looking at the method in which
I see it one more time.
an extensive batch of metrics to find similar as a great tool called Doppelgangers. Malone's body. CraftedNBA.com has a great tool called Doppelgangers,
Player Players 2024 season. Oh, wow.
which uses an extensive batch of metrics to find similar players throughout the NBA. But this tool specifically looks at the results of a player's game without looking at the method in which they got those results, which is an important distinction. For example, Kevin Durant and Bam Adebayo had the same field goal percentage last season,
What I said.
but the shots they took to get there were wildly different. To find real similarity,
Hey, Bam did hit a couple threes though. Like Bam hit that damn game winner or whatever against the Pistons.
the method is just as important as the result. And so I decided
Also, Bam had a funny tweet today. Y'all been seeing all the Bam, Asia Wilson stuff. Basically, they like, I'm not gonna lie, they did a pretty good job. Cause I ain't know about none. Well, I think I seen it one or two times. They'd be like, there's slight reports or rumors that Bam is dating Asia Wilson, whatever. And then but then randomly I just see damn, why I can't find his name because it's a damn 13 am Adebayo. Hold on, there it is. This man Bam just started tweeting and putting apostrophes after his A's. A1000. What a guy. Anyways.
to take matters into my own hands. And after hours of research, metric-based analysis, and data crunching in an attempt to solve this age-old question, I think I have the answer. An almost definitive
Like I was watching Kid Name Next Door, Code Kids Next, whatever the hell it was
age-old
called.
question, I think I have the answer. An almost definitive conclusion on the most similar player to LeBron in the NBA today. And I guarantee the player who came out ahead of everyone else is not who you think it is. First,
Wait, go
the
back.
player
It's like Russell Westbrook or something. Dale Ellis. I don't know. Kawhi. I'm trying to guess it off how he looked.
who came out ahead of
Desmond Bain.
everyone else is
I'm not
not
looking
who
to
you
check.
think it is. First, I had to reduce the entire league down to the players who had even an ounce of resemblance to LeBron and his game. Floor generals, oversized guards, hyper-athletic players, slashers, players who are just really good, bigs with guard skills, the do-it-all Swiss Army knives, high-usage guys, and because why not, Victor Wembanyama. Eventually, I was able to narrow down the list of players included in our experiment to
I see. I see who it really is. Damn, I ain't know, Jimmy. My fault. I ain't know, Jimmy. My fault.
About 70. Of those 70 players,
I didn't even think of it like that. Damn, Jalen Brunson. Wait, hold on. Take him off the list. That ain't him. It ain't him. Trust me, it ain't him. It could be a man, though.
Are the ones that scored the highest in similarity to LeBron. Now, how exactly did I quantify similarity throughout this process? Well, first I had to determine the metrics in which I wanted to measure. And here—
Why is Batum in? Chill on Batum. It dead could have been young Nicholas Batum. Hold on. Move my face cam. Why is Donovan Mitchell on here? Get Donovan Mitchell and Jalen. Get Grizzlies Derrick Rose off of here. Why is Grizzlies Derrick Rose on this damn list? On the similar LeBron list. Yo, Grizzlies Derrick Rose and LeBron got nothing in similarity but being 3 years away from retirement. I love Derrick Rose, but let's just keep it a stack. They got nothing left in the retirement. In the Josh Giddey's on here. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Let's be honest. Josh Giddey and LeBron. Okay, let me be clear. On the court, basketball terminology got a little bit in common. They tall. They could swing that rock. Julius Randle? Nah, you know what? I should have said Julius Randle. It might be Julius Randle. He just can't. He's not a.
Here are those metrics.
He can't put the defense.
Stature, usage and creation, shooting tendencies, portability, passing, defense, athleticism, dominance, shooting ability, and play style. 10.
Okay. Dominance. Okay, stature, Julius Randle. Usage and creation, Julius Randle. Shooting tendencies, Julius Randle. Portability, Julius Randle. Passing, Julius Randle. Defense, athleticism, Julius Randle. Dominance, Julius Randle. Shooting ability, Julius Randle. Play style, Julius Randle.
Isolated metrics that factor in each and every aspect of LeBron's game. Finding the similarities between him and any other player was the easy part. For example, take passing, which can be measured fairly accurately with passer rating, a metric that measures how frequent, effective, and efficient a player passes the ball. The metric is on a scale from 1 to 10, and LeBron's career passer rating is 7.67. That's really good. James Harden has a career passer rating of 7.37. That is also really good. Jaylen Brown has a career passer rating of 3.24, and that's not so good. To quantify just how similar these two players are to LeBron in terms of passing, we just need to figure out how much their passer rating deviates from LeBron's. In this case, James Harden's passer rating only deviates from LeBron's by 3.9%, while Jaylen Brown's passer rating deviates by 57.8%. This would give Harden a passing similarity score of 96.1% and Jaylen Brown a similarity score of 42.
So it's going to be all of their things. Similarity score from all those 10 things, and then he's going to take the average of the 10. That's pretty good. That's really good.
0.2%. By using this method of measurement, I calculated the similarity score of every player in our experiment across all 10 previously mentioned categories. I then tallied up their total score to find the overall most similar player to LeBron. The player with the highest score after evaluating all 10 categories is the player that shares the most in common with him. So, now that you know the method, let's see the results. Now, the first category we're going to take a look at is stature. If we were put to the task of building a basketball player in a lab with the ideal NBA frame, he would probably come out looking like LeBron. 6'9", 250 pounds with a 7-foot wingspan. In fact, here are his exact measurements, courtesy of craftednba.com. Measurements you would usually find in a power forward. And that's exactly the type of players that share the most in common
with
LeBron in terms of physical frame. Among the players we are evaluating, the one that has the most similar frame to LeBron is
Aaron Gordon.
Paolo Banchero, whose measurements are almost identical to LeBron's with a similarity score of
Julius Randle. What did I say? What did I say? Oh, Aaron Gordon's a little bit shorter, and he's a little bit thinner. Damn. What did I say? It's gonna be Julius Randle. It's gonna be Julius Randle. I'm not gonna lie, Julius Randle gonna lose it though on the passer thing. Probably on the pass, even though he does average a good, but not career though. With the Knicks, he's averaged a good amount of pass. Probably he has for his career too, but not probably close to that Jaylen Brown type of. You know what I'm saying? 7.3. Hold on 1 second. No, go down. Go here. Go here. I don't know what the hell play style and dominance and a lot of these are going to be determined upon those. So go back.
Is Paolo Banchero, whose measurements are almost identical to LeBron's with a similarity score of 99.1% from his height to his weight and wingspan. The next closest
off of this, we have now officially lost Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell. See ya, sayonara. We ain't gonna be seeing you on this list again.
players are Julius Randle, Ben Simmons, Alperen Sengun, and Domantas Sabonis. Keep in mind, although I will only be displaying the results of 20 to 30 players per category, each individual score is being factored in and will be revealed at the end.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of shooting, not efficiency, but rather where players choose to operate on offense and take their shots, there aren't many players around the league that are very similar to LeBron. He's got the size of a power forward, and he uses that size to get to the rim and attempt 35% of his shots within 3 feet of the basket. But he also attempts nearly a quarter of his shots from behind the three-point line. Players with shot selections this balanced are
I'm sorry, my brain, my brain is on a different pain right now. The music is reminding me of like you just like fought a boss in a game and you're in like this like underground, like kind of robotic, technological, industrial type of area. Anyways.
To get to the rim and attempt 35% of his shots within 3 feet of the basket. But he also attempts nearly a quarter of his shots from behind the three-point line. Players with shot selections
Ben does not shoot like this, Dre.
This balanced are pretty rare. Take, for example, a player like Zion Williamson, who has the physical tools like LeBron, but he does the majority of his work right around the basket. You'd think a player like Jason Tatum might be similar to LeBron in this aspect with how well-rounded his arsenal of shots can be, but he tends to favor three-point shooting above any other shot. So when it comes to shot selection, the player that is most similar to LeBron throughout the entire NBA is actually Russell Westbrook, whose shot selection only deviates from LeBron's by about 8%.
Julius Randle, he's number one. I told y'all he's number one. He's far and away number one. I watched this man. We literally call him fake LeBron. That is fake LeBron, dog. That's why we say we can't get rid of him, because he fake LeBron. It's Julius Randle, dog. Forget Russell Westbrook. It don't matter. You was too little. You're not gonna be up there. And what's crazy is all of these shots are mistakes. My bad.
The next closest player is Julius Randle, followed by Jimmy Butler, Paolo Banchero, and Andrew Wiggins, who, all similar to LeBron, have extremely balanced shot selections. Now, one of LeBron's most valuable and distinctive traits is his versatility as a player. One of his most underrated accomplishments is that he is the only player in NBA history to be listed at all 5 positions for at least a season. And there's actually a metric that—
Did you see Julius Randle in the 2021 season? His point guard was Elfrid Payton, who was on crack. Sorry, Elfrid, that last part isn't true. He had Reggie Bullock, Elfrid Payton, RJ Barrett, and Nerlens Noel. Is Julius Randle.
That makes an attempt to measure this adaptability, called portability. This metric collects data like passer rating, shooting ability, ball dominance, and usage, as well as defensive versatility, and calculates how portable a player is within any given system. In other words, how well would a player fit if you dropped him into a team with 14 random players? The metric is on a scale from 1 to 10, where 10 is a perfect score. LeBron has a career portability rating of 7.82, and the most similar players to LeBron in this regard are Chris Paul and Jason Tatum, who are both nearly identical to LeBron with similarity scores of 99.8%.
A low-key still, oh no. Julius Randle isn't here. Don't tell me the dream is dead. He's not here at all. This can't be. I don't get this one. And I'm not going to try and understand it. I don't get it.
The next closest players are Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, and James Harden. It's worth noting that there are players around the league who are even more portable than LeBron has been throughout his career, such as Kawhi, Harden, Paul George, and Nikola Jokic. but you can't really be like LeBron if you aren't willing and great at passing the ball. So the next metric we're assessing is passer rating. This metric, similar to a few others, are on a scale from 1 to 10, with of course 10 being the best possible rating. Now throughout
Chris Paul again, probably, or well, you have to be similar to LeBron, so it's not just the best passer. So it's probably like Westbrook again. Cause just I don't know what it's. I really don't know if it's based upon career this season, best seasons, because Derrick Rose is on there. So.
Throughout his career, LeBron has had a passer rating of 7.67, and the player most similar to him in this metric is once again Russell Westbrook, who has the same exact career passer rating as LeBron does. 100%
okay, yeah, it's career
similarity.
Yeah, that's what. Damn. Yeah, it really is 100%. That's great. Jalen. This man, Jalen, trying to sneak on this damn list. No, Julius is in here again. No. Yeah, I was right. Because Russell wasn't passing as much. He basically is like, has a higher passing, whatever the hell, from his, I mean, every year since like 2016, 17-ish. Aside from that, I mean, he passed, but more, you know, on a normal scale, not like the 10, 11 assists a game scale.
The next most similar players are Josh Giddey, Luka Doncic, Ja Morant, and James Harden. And already you can begin to see just how diverse LeBron's skills are. In some categories, he has most in common with big men, while in other categories, he resembles a guard. Which leads us to our next category, and the most important aspect of LeBron's game: usage and creation. Throughout LeBron's career, he has been the engine to every offense he's been a part of, not just with his scoring, but with his playmaking. And to measure this, we can use 3 different metrics: box creation estimate, offensive load, and usage percentage. And this is where LeBron really becomes an anomaly. Players of his size have historically done well generating offense for themselves, but usually it takes a ball-dominant guard to really carry the load of an entire offense.
Shea, maybe? Just because of height. Shea's like 6'5", 6'6". Shea, Jason Tatum. It's going to be anybody around almost or around his height. That it's going to be Paolo probably for this. It's going to be genuinely the people that end up like Zion again. All the people that are more, and I'm saying, oh, thank you, Edge's best. Oh, thank you, Taj King. Damn, why did it hold my my alerts, bro? I appreciate the subscriptions. Taj King, Ed. Crazy name.
It's the way LeBron has throughout his career,
Luka,
which is why if we search for the most similar players in these metrics,
Luka
we will
for sure.
find point guards. Russell Westbrook, Ja Morant, and James Harden being the most similar to LeBron in terms of their usage and creation on offense. However, there are some bigs who have transcended their positional value, such as Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, defensively, LeBron's career hasn't been nearly as consistent. At his peak, he was a phenomenal defender, one of the best in the entire league. But in recent years, he has games where he can be a flat-out liability on the defensive end.
Damn.
And although defense can be
I was watching that game.
Difficult thing to measure, there are a couple metrics that might be able to point us in the right direction in our search for the most similar player to LeBron. Specifically, defensive versatility rating and crafted defensive plus minus are the 2 metrics we'll be using here. Throughout his
Random, was Paul George on there? I feel like Paul George would have been a player I would have said for some of these as well. I don't know if Paul George is even on there. But anyways.
Career, LeBron has a defensive versatility rating of 60.3 and a crafted defensive plus minus of 1.38.
Out of 10?
Career defensive numbers that are actually really good, especially for an offensive player of his caliber. And with these 2 metrics, we can find the player who is most similar to LeBron defensively, both in quality and versatility. And after crunching the numbers, that player is Chris Paul, with a similarity score of 88.2%, followed by
And Chris Paul might got it. Oh my, Men Thompson. Damn. Yeah. But he's only got 1 season. I kind of don't like I even like seeing Josh Giddey on here. I was like, oh, well, he's only been in the league for like 3 years. But I mean, but it's still valid for, but Men's only been in the league for 1 year. But nah, he is nice though. Oh yeah, Jimmy's a good one for this. Damn, Chris Paul, that's crazy.
Thompson, Jimmy Butler, Giannis, and Ben Simmons. Oddly,
but this is actually more so in lack of favor towards LeBron, because they said his defense versatility thing was a 60. Oh, but it's both ratings though. It's that and the plus minus one. Yeah, because I was gonna say, oh yeah, true. Because KD's is 69.5, but his plus minus is a 0.38. So yeah, wow, that's actually kind of wild. Damn.
Enough, despite LeBron not being considered an elite defender for years now, statistically, throughout his career as a whole, he is most comparable to some of the most valuable defensive players in the league. Our next category is what I believe to be the most indicative of measuring similarities from player to player. And that is play style, what role they play on offense, where they find the most value while on the court, and their habits both on and off the ball. Now, quantifying a player's play style is tough to do. What do you measure and how do you measure it? Well, on craftednba.com, within each player's profile, there is a breakdown of their usage by play type. These plays range from ISO possessions to pick and roll as both the ball handler and the roll man, the post, off-ball cuts, handoffs, screens, and spot up. These 8 play types are essentially the 8 major different roles a player can play on any given possession. In LeBron's case, 4 of these 8 different play types make up for the majority of all of his possessions on offense. Post possessions, spot up shooting, ISO possessions, and his favorite, pick and rolls as the ball handler.
So, damn, but wait, minus the post. That's going to get a lot out of these PGs out of here, even the spot up in a sense. Damn, I don't actually, because Paolo, I wouldn't expect to have as many pick and roll ball, but maybe a decent amount. Julius Randle.
Now, if we take a look at these 4 play types and search for the players with the most similar usage percentage across all 4, then the player that has the most similar play style to LeBron is Jimmy Butler, who surprisingly shares many of the same habits, both in usage and play type, especially in ISO, pick and roll, and post possessions. The next most similar players to LeBron in this category were Giannis, Jason Tatum, Durant.
Hey, Julius Randle is there though. I mean, he gets a lot from spot up. I ain't peep. I think his earlier career numbers are skewing him. I'm not even trying to be well, I wouldn't. I genuinely do though, because there's no way that 20% of his are spot up nowadays. He definitely has a lot more as either really just the other 3, I would honestly assume overall of it. But yeah. Now Jimmy is I think Jimmy would, well, obviously be number 1 regardless. But yeah, Jimmy plays very similarly. Damn, Giannis being 2 is kind of interesting. But he has way less in the pick and roll. Yeah, he's pretty far below Jimmy. Tatum. Damn, Tatum gets a lot of possessions in these things specifically. 26, 23, 10, 11.
And Jaylen Brown. For the most part, versatile wings that can generate offense from just about anywhere on the court. Now, athleticism is extremely difficult to measure in the NBA. Jumping high and running fast are feats of athleticism, but
Zion. It's just Zion. It just should be Zion, probably.
So are hand-eye coordination, stamina, and body control. And LeBron's athleticism is a key aspect of his abilities as a player, specifically in regards to his explosiveness. But unless you can get out there with a measuring tape and a stopwatch and grab some marks, it's almost impossible to really get an idea of how athletic LeBron is, or any player is for that matter. So that's
whatever 2K used to make pro play, use it to measure stuff like that. There you go.
Exactly what we're going to do by looking at each player's vertical leap. Now, although this is only one very simple way of measuring an athlete's explosiveness, max vertical leap is proven to be an effective gauge at doing just that. And
we about to get Chase Budinger or what's buddy from the Pat Connaughton? It's about to be Pat Connaughton. Like, come on, dog.
Insightful metric in this context, since LeBron's vertical leap has been a massive component to his game throughout the majority of his career. And according to countless sources, at his peak, LeBron had a max vert somewhere between 40 and 44 inches. After all these years, there's been no real confirmation on these numbers, but every single source I could find has his max vert listed somewhere between 40 and 44. So we'll go with something right in the middle. 42 inches. And in terms of vertical leap, there's actually 4 players in the league today who are most similar to LeBron. Anthony Edwards, Ben Simmons, Aaron Gordon, and Amen Thompson, all with vertical leaps of 41.5 inches.
Damn, Zion's a 45. I don't really like this one because that was like mad, like, oh, well, we don't really know what it is, so we're going to say it's this. Plus, that's all we're going to judge athleticism upon. I don't really like this one. But I guess there isn't really a way to do it with metrics analytically. So kind of just, yeah, screw it. Like, why is Tobias Harris?
The next most similar players are Donovan Mitchell, Ja Morant, Andrew Wiggins, and Derrick Rose. Now, we have factored in playstyle and Ja Morant, Andrew Wiggins.
Can we talk to the fact that nobody has a 42 on the dot? Like, that's not really a doesn't seem like it'd be a, you know what, anyways.
And Derrick Rose. Now, we have factored in playstyle and shot selection, but we also need to consider shooting ability. It's probably the most average aspect of LeBron's game. Throughout his career, LeBron has been a streaky shooter, better as of late than he was in his early days
Julius Randle
in the league, but all in all, just very average.
Maybe Jimmy, actually.
And this is really important. It's one of the main things that separates him from other great wings like Durant and Kawhi, who have been excellent shooters throughout their careers. And instead of
Kawhi wasn't at first, but he has been since.
Strictly using field goal percentage to measure LeBron's shooting ability, we are going to be using crafted.
Kawhi had a wicked jump because, like, I think he was drafted like not as a non-shooter, but as like he's mid. And then became like the most, like one of the most elite mid-range shooters. Because LeBron's always been like, it's been like, oh, like he's actually a really good post player, really good, you know, mid-range shooter these days. But like, LeBron, it doesn't look effortless when he does anything like outside of the paint. Like, it looks like it hurts sometimes.
NBA's shooting quality metric. It's a stat that combines shooting percentages with spacing and shot value to find what they describe to be the most accurate shooters in the league on a scale from 1 to 100. For context, Steph Curry clocked a perfect 100 out of 100 shooting quality rating for the past 2 seasons. Over his 21 seasons in the league, LeBron has a career average shooting quality rating of 61.8. And right now, the player who is almost exactly the same caliber of shooter as LeBron is Jaylen Brown, with a career shooting quality rating of 61.9. And a similarity.
That's actually not that surprising. I always, by default, I'm thinking of players around like his size, but that's not that surprising, honestly. OG is up there. OG's been in the middle, though. I'm not expecting OG to be, there's no way OG's going to win. OG's been in the middle on like majority of these, so there's no way, unless it just averages out. That'd be really funny. That's not that surprising because so it's shot quality. Okay, so it's shooting quality. Okay. So it's like I think he just showed that it was like I don't know, whatever. I get it. It makes sense because they take similar shots, but that wasn't really the question though. Yeah, whatever. That sounds about right. Rui, pretty interesting. Brandon Ingram, that kind of makes sense, yeah, because Brandon Ingram's like, his whole career has been like, oh, like he's like fake KD, but he's nowhere near as efficient. And like he's efficient, but you know what I'm saying? I guess that makes sense. OG does not make sense, honestly, but I screw it.
Of 99.8%, followed by Rui Hachimura, Brandon Ingram, OG Anunoby, and Luka Doncic. And with one more category left, we cannot leave out the most important thing of all. How good at basketball LeBron is. A player can pass like him, jump like him, shoot like him, but
Jalen Brunson.
If they aren't dominating games, how similar to LeBron can they possibly be? And to measure dominance, instead of looking at accolades and accomplishments, we are going to look at purely how great they have been in their time in the NBA through the lens of an advanced metric, crafted plus minus. Now this metric is an aggregate of 10 other advanced metrics. It's essentially an all-in-one of all the all-in-ones. It's just what we're looking for. In LeBron's career crafted...
Come on, dog. What is O3? I don't even want to say that.
It's just what we're looking, which is the second. LeBron's career crafted plus minus is 7.66, which is the second highest in NBA history, only behind Michael Jordan. So although we're looking for the most similar player to LeBron, really we're looking for the best players in the league in this category. And in terms of crafted,
heard that one, Dre?
Plus minus, that player is Nikola Jokic, with a career crafted plus minus of 7.62 and a similarity score of 99.5%.
I swear it might be Chris Paul.
Easily the most similar player to LeBron in terms of dominance. The next closest players are Chris Paul, Kawhi Leonard.
Chris Paul, really? That's a forget the video for a second. Chris Paul being this high up on this is crazy. It's for all like the flack he gets for, oh, he a loser, he this, he that. Hey, that's crazy because I'm not gonna lie, I have never once watched Chris Paul and been like, oh, he's a loser. I think we watched a low video on it a while back where it was like, is Chris Paul a choker? And then it was breaking down like everything, like all the times he's quote unquote choked, and like a lot of them were pretty invalid. And so it's like, I rock with Chris Paul.
James Harden, and Joel Embiid. And with that, we have assessed all 55 players across all 10 categories. Now, did all this research and number crunching take me players across?
Look at how high up Victor already is. I know it's off one season, but still. Who else on here? Derrick Rose is really low. My face cam's covering it, though. He's actually lower than Nicholas Batum. Is it? It must be based off career. I mean, it don't matter. Whatever.
All 10 categories. Now, did all this research and number crunching take me far longer than I was anticipating? Yes. Was it worth it? I think so. Because in
you anticipate this to not take a long time?
League where there isn't anyone quite like LeBron, I think with very high accuracy, I have narrowed the search for the most LeBron-like player down to one. After scanning a field of 70 potential matches across 10 different categories and
he should make it climactic. You got to do the top 5 now. Don't fail this.
Dozens of metrics, the most similar player to LeBron in the NBA today is Jimmy Butler. It's kind of crazy, right? I know.
I'm only mad because I didn't say it. That's all.
In the end,
Jimmy Butler is... Wait, hold on.
Butler finished with an average similarity score of 80.81% across all 10 categories.
Stature, play style. Probably stature is that close. Play style is pretty close. Shooting ability. The only thing... Passing that close, really? I guess it just looks that... It really isn't, but it's just like a... Well, it shows it right here, 80%. Then so he's in between like 80 to 90. Okay, so he's around like 80% passes. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Finishing just ahead of Giannis and Durant and having a sizable lead on Jokic.
Okay, see, actually Jokic being up here makes sense. Damn, Giannis? Damn, that's crazy. I guess at the end of the day, the greatness of the player ended up overriding. I was really hoping to see like a super random, like a random list, like Paolo, Julius Randle. Honestly, Jimmy at 1 doesn't disappoint me, honestly, though. That and Luke that fills the need for weirdness.
Good. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the player who came out on top wasn't a guy you would expect. At least for me, Jimmy Butler has not been a player that comes to mind when I think of similar players to LeBron. But when looking at his scores throughout each category, turns out he is eerily similar in many ways. The only categories he didn't score well in were usage and creation and dominance, which makes sense. Butler isn't nearly the playmaker or as ball dominant as LeBron has been. And quite frankly, there's only a few players that even come close to LeBron in terms of dominance. But looking back, I think the clearest glimpse we got into just how similar Butler can be to LeBron was in the 2020 NBA Finals. Throughout this series,
I swear on everything I love, I was gonna say this verbatim earlier, that I remember, I think I was like talking to someone that like isn't like a big basketball fan or like isn't like a, you know, like in the basketball world. And I was like, I'm like, to be honest, like he kind of, I probably said it on YouTube, actually. I probably said in like the Jimmy Butler videos I was making around the time that he kind of like was reminding me of him low key. And especially because he was playing against him. So that's actually why, because I felt like, sometimes I feel like he doesn't get enough respect, Jimmy Butler. So, or a lot of time, because I feel like he's probably going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, well, or at least he should be.
Butler did a lot more facilitating than we're used to seeing from him. He was hyper efficient from the floor, did his best jack of all trades impression, averaging.
I wonder how much of an influence having the same coach played in this. I guess, but you could also say that LeBron has played, you know, okay, yeah, because I was going to say LeBron has played kind of like LeBron pre and post Miami, or like LeBron. Yo, by the way, cursed jersey right here. This is a cursed J.R. Smith jersey number and jersey in general. Anyways, I was going to say that LeBron played like LeBron pre and post Miami, but you could also say like, oh, well, probably Spoelstra learned a lot from LeBron and then maybe applied those same things to Jimmy.
a very LeBron-esque 26 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists a game for the series. He seemed to have been much more in control of the Heat's offense, more assertive and aggressive with his possessions, getting to the line 9 times a game. It almost makes more assertive and aggressive with
Look at Kuz.
his possessions, getting to the line 9 times a game. It almost makes you wonder if Butler played that super high usage role more often, which he is clearly capable of doing, would it become more obvious just how similar to LeBron he really is. He has
It has multiple. He's went to the finals like 2 times and almost like 3 or 4 in the past like 5 years. I mean, I wouldn't say the LeBron thing, but like in regard to like the dominance of like a player of that caliber, yeah, like that's I sort of like we act like Jimmy Butler hasn't done anything like ever.
Fit well within the more traditional wing position throughout his career, but if Butler were to take on the role of a point forward, would it become more apparent that his game has more than just shades of LeBron in it? It's only ironic that the series that he played most like LeBron was, of course, against LeBron himself. Now, here are the full results from this experiment. With the
I've been waiting for. Where's Julius Randle? Where's? Oh, he's 28th. Chris Paul. I was surprised Chris Paul. Well, I didn't really think about it, but I'm actually surprised he wasn't a little bit higher. Donovan Mitchell at 14. That's real hate. Damn, Ben Simmons at 37. Why is Lou Dort on this list? RJ Barrett. OG, I told you, OG was not going to be up there. Derrick Rose at 35. Jalen Williams, he was one low key that I thought of in my head. Not like as to be the one, but just as a candidate. Once I saw him on the screen, I think, oh, there goes Jalen Brunson. Victor. Jalen Brunson being higher than Ben Simmons really just shows a lot about this world. Where's Paolo at? Paolo at 22. That's not bad. That's not bad.
70 total players.
So basically, at the end of the day, like actual greatness of player superseded everything in a sense. I thought it was gonna be more so geared towards play style, and that's kind of why I was saying, I don't know, Kyle Anderson before the video started.
Involved condensed to the 55 with the highest eventual scores. And there's a few interesting things going on here. Giannis finished just behind Butler. Throughout his career, he has shared similarities with LeBron, but in very different ways than Butler has. Kevin Durant, of all players, came in 3rd, which caught me by surprise. Again, not a player I would associate with LeBron's game, but the numbers say otherwise. James Harden finished in 6th, and I actually do see some similarities there, especially in their playmaking, ability to generate offense, versatility, and dominance. Ben Simmons, one of very few players to get the LeBron comp early in his career, finished all the way down in 37th. The biggest difference here being that despite being a guard, Simmons cannot generate his own offense outside of 12 feet from the basket, leading to completely different shooting splits, plays.
Nah, this is dirty. He don't even look right in this Brooklyn jersey. Let me move my camera. Play style, 17. Shooting ability, 40. Damn, 47? That seems high. Shooting shooting tendencies 36. Yeah. Portability, passing, athleticism. Yep, it's just athleticism and stature. That's perfect depiction in passing and defense and portability. Yep, yeah. That's about right.
Styles and usage. Visually, their games have looked similar, but in reality, outside of the size, athleticism, and passing, they actually don't have as much in common as you would think. Among the young guys in the league, it is Cade Cunningham who has the most in common with LeBron, finishing 17th, followed by a player who has drawn the comparison recently in Paolo Banchero. The next closest in this group of young players are Jalen Williams, Franz Wagner, and Anthony Edwards. Now, I really wanted to add some past players into this experiment like Magic Johnson, Scottie Pippen, and Grant Hill, but many of the advanced metrics used throughout my research were not available until relatively recently. So, unfortunately, with the method of measurement that I used, there just isn't enough data on these players to make an accurate assessment. Overall, it seems that for the most part, it is the best players in the league that have the most in common with LeBron, which is interesting since there was only one metric that specifically measured dominance. But it would make sense that players that pass well, generate a lot of offense, have a high usage on good efficiency, and can defend at least a decent level will have the most in common with LeBron.
Yeah, he's one good passers. Kawhi Leonard is not no damn good passer.
Go through the list of great players around the league, and they all play a very large, impactful, and versatile role on the court. And their ability to do this leads them to a style of play that is similar to LeBron's.
Let me go back.
And their ability to do this leads them to a style of play that is similar to LeBron's one way or another. So, there you have it. In case you were wondering who exactly is the most similar player to LeBron, the answer is Jimmy Butler. But let me know what you think. Was the method used to determine our outcome effective, or are there other metrics out there that could lead us to a more accurate conclusion? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, until next time.
Metrics that I know? No, Jimmy, I'm sorry. I don't have any metrics to refer you to. You probably got it. You just crunch the numbers for probably 50 hours. I'm not going to be the one to find you those. But in terms of just general, well, I do think, honestly, I think Jimmy's a pretty good answer in a general sense, even in like, because I would have been mad if it was like KD doesn't feel right. But like Jimmy, what gets me with him is, yes, I don't think Jimmy's close in regard to like the athleticism, but it's more so like the strong style of play. It's like a 6'7" slimmer Zion style of play with the way that he'll like catch the ball around the rim and just hit like easy layups or like whatever, like stuff, you know, like a strong body style of play, along with being a ball handler, along with being a smart player for the most part, along with being a good defender, along with having a similar shot diet, and just kind of being like a mini smaller kind of version of LeBron. I think of like the ugly fadeaway mid ranges, but like if I would have seen pretty body KD game, like, oh, he's number one to LeBron. I don't know about all that. I wouldn't agree. Giannis, hell no, his game is too ugly. It can't work. So, yeah, I think out of the top 10, honestly, I wouldn't have been mad at like Jason Tatum. But I wouldn't consider him as much as not nearly as much of a ball. Well, a ball handler, yes, sometimes. It's just like, it's hard to, I think Jimmy's been needed to be depended on much. I mean, I know it's been like the insanely recent, when Tatum was dependent on a ton, like 4 years ago or like 3 years ago, he was scoring more than LeBron would in comparison to passing. And now that recently he's been dependent on more, he's less efficient at scoring, but a higher passing, but it's more so because his scoring is down. So it's just, yeah. Paolo's a good one too. I was kind of thinking though, based upon what this seems to be, is like favoring like players that have played for a minute. Whatever. It's not bad though. It's pretty good. It was a fun video though. So shout out to JxmyHighroller. Good video. Calm video.